Welcome to the Echoes of Alchemy podcast. My name is Jay Robinson, and I'm coming to you from Lotus Sound Studio in beautiful downtown Collingwood, Ontario, Canada, where we provide sound baths, sound training, day retreats, yoga nidra, kirtan, and so much more. As grounded, passionate, and dedicated students of ancient and modern sound practices, our team supports yogis, spiritual practitioners, meditators, musicians, artists, and those looking to amplify their intuition, inner power, and purpose with our one-of-a-kind, unplugged gatherings and sound bath artistry training. Our mission is to inspire a holistically infused lifestyle, utilizing natural, highly effective, and accessible sound wellness practices, and to contribute to the health, happiness, and spirit of our community. Elevate your understanding of sound and become a beacon of transformative vibration for yourself and others with the Lotus Sound 3-day sound immersion training, deep dive into sound bath artistry. We have sessions open for registration. Visit lotussound.ca/sound training and join us for one of our upcoming 3-day training immersions. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you will enjoy it. Be sure to follow, rate, and share. Enjoy. Welcome to this episode of Echoes of Alchemy with Lotus Sound. My name is Jay, and today I'm going to talk a bit about my experience combining nature, specifically the forest, the woods, Mother Nature, and music. And recently, Justine and I have had the opportunity, so grateful, to have a number of events that have happened outside. It's summertime here. It's almost August, so it's pretty warm and sunny, really beautiful. We're peak summer kind of vibe happening right now. So getting outside and doing our sound baths or doing chanting or music is just next level. And we spend so much time where we are here in Canada, hunkered down and hibernating over the 8, 9, 10 months, it feels like sometimes, of the year. So when these summer months come up, we make the most of it. And I think it's important. I'm finding how important it is because we've been doing our Sunday morning singing bowl gathering for 6 years now in the park. We get out there, we're in the sunshine, we're in the park with community, and just how potent and important that has become for us as our personal practice too, just as an event. But getting out into the elements and being really present and enjoying and sharing your practice is like a triple whammy. So I have a really fun, kind of cool story for any of you that don't know me prior to sound baths and kirtan and that kind of thing. I'm a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. And in the summertime, in the year 2015, I was it was my first summertime being sober. So it was my first summer not having alcohol as my main hobby. And I was having none, and I haven't had any since. And I'm really grateful for all of the tools that I have available to me, including music and sound. But so it's the summer 2015. It's my first summer, and I was looking for something to do that would be a positive, creative outlet for my passion, which is music, and as well as give me, I don't know if I necessarily completely thought this was happening, but it definitely gave me a really wonderful distraction. And so what I did, summer 2015, I decided I was going to go out and scout different spots along the Bruce Trail, which is a trail that runs from Tobermory here in Ontario all the way to Niagara Falls. It's a very long trail. Some people hike the whole thing. And it runs across, in our area, across the Niagara Escarpment, which is our Blue Mountain, really beautiful spot. And I decided I'd go out and scout spots that I might go and then record maybe some kind of musical improvisation. And I started going out on Saturday mornings, really early. So I'd get up, I'd set it up so I'd go to bed early Friday night, which was usually, of course, party time. And I'd get up really early before the sun on Saturday mornings, and I would go and I would scout. I would pick spots. I bought the Bruce Trail guide book map. It's like a whole book of maps. And I just kind of picked spots that seemed accessible. I didn't want them to be too far off, the trail, or too far, into no man's land, because I'd be carrying equipment with me. And I'd go out and I'd scope these spots. I'd take pictures and videos. And then I'd spend the next week practicing. So I'd pick a tuning. I was really into like alternate tunings with my guitar and using multiple capos and stuff like that, kind of like banjo style. And so I'd spend the next week working with just a tuning, just kind of feeling it, getting into it, and just improvising. And then the next Saturday would come, and I would prep Friday night, get all my stuff together. I had this really cool, and I still have it, it's really cool portable recording device. So you could do multi-track. So I could do up to 8 different microphones of me in the woods, all battery powered. So I didn't need to have any power. And I took my microphones, my guitar, this recording device, and I'd go back to the spot that I scouted, and I would, and the video camera, I video recorded everything too. I'd go back to the spot and I'd do as many improvisations as I felt inspired to do, or until it got too hot. And that was another reason why I needed to go in the early morning to scout as well as to do these recordings, as it was because it got too hot and too busy. So if I got out there early enough, it could be just me. So I did this the whole summer long. I went to 12 or 13 different locations. Sometimes I'd bring a different instrument. I think one of the times I brought a mandolin, but I had this like 2-week kind of process that happened the whole summer long, even before like probably spring into summer, of going to scout these spots and then following up the next week to do a recording, and over and over again. And it was really, really beautiful because even the scouting, like Justine and I would go out, we go on a hike. Sky came with me a couple times to scout these spots. And it was a really great excuse to get out into nature. But in the end, it was just so incredible to sit in nature, just in the silence of nature. I mean, obviously it's not silent, but compared to a busy city, it definitely is. But just sitting in nature and just feeling and playing these scales, or these like in these specific keys that I've been practicing for that week, I really got some really beautiful results, and it was such a positive thing to be creating and being out in nature. And I never would have been able to do that any of the years prior, because before the sun came up on Saturday, there's no way I would have been out in the woods making art. Like, it just wouldn't have been happening. And really grateful for it. So what I did was I compiled all of these recordings, and as I was going, I was releasing the odd one on YouTube, and just as like here you go, Bruce Trail Sessions, I called it. And it ended up being this collection of music that I was really really happy with, like the nature recording. You can hear, I had a number of mics with me. I think there was 3 or 4 or 5 different mics, as well as my pickup, and maybe even more than that. It's hard to remember, but it really picked up not only my guitar really well, but the nature sounds around it. So each track has its own really unique flavor in that sense. So the summer comes to an end. I've got all these recordings. I finished my project. I'm not going to go any further. I decided I was going to release it as an album, and I did a Kickstarter, which was kind of scary, the crowd funding. And I did a Kickstarter, and the idea that I came up with was to release these songs in a environmentally friendly CD format, which, I mean, technically there's plastic in it, but all of the inks were made with vegetable ink. It was a service being offered by a album manufacturer where you could send your own recordings in. So they had all this, and it was recycled pop bottles, that kind of thing. And so I did a run of 100 of the CDs, and I did the Kickstarter and had a number of different, pledges people could make. And you'd get a CD, and for each CD that sold, or for each CD or each person that did the Kickstarter, I would go out and plant a tree. So the idea was I was going to plant 100 trees. So 1 tree for every single CD that I manufactured for this particular Kickstarter. And the goal was to go back to the spots that I recorded the songs in, or these improvisations, and plant the trees there. So yeah, it was kind of like this feedback loop. I'd gone there, I'd been drawn to the place, I felt it was really inspiring, went back, created something there, and then in the end return and plant a tree. And the trees were all indigenous to our area, of course, but that was the goal: plant 100 trees back in the spots where the recordings were made. And it ended up being an 8-track CD, all recorded with improvisation, instrumental acoustic improvisations that I did on the Bruce Trail in 2015. And the Kickstarter went off. I got my goal, which really was just to break even on the CDs and plant the trees. It ended up going over. I think it was $500 or something over what I'd originally set as my goal. So all of that money went to Tree Canada, which is a service that reforests and works with communities as well, urban replanting projects for trees. So yeah, in the end, I had this album, Bruce Trail Sessions, Music for 100 Trees, which is really just a byproduct of my search for something healthy, something rich, something creative to do. And whether it was an accident or meant to be, just sitting in nature and playing guitar for that summer and hiking with my family and getting out was just an incredible memory. So it's important that we, especially like I said, where I live, where Justine and I live in Canada, we get a long winter. We get a lot of hibernation. So in the summer, it's best get outside and not only just enjoy the weather and do fun stuff athletically or whatever it might be, but get out and do your practice. Go meditate by the water, or go sit by the river. Play guitar in your front yard. Let the neighbors come over and jam out or something like that. But get out and do your practice outside. Do yoga and connect with that summer energy. It's so beautiful. So if you'd like to listen to the Bruce Trail Sessions Music for 100 Trees album, it's actually on Spotify, Apple Music. It's on all of those things. You'll have to search it out, Music for 100 Trees. It's under my name, Jay Robinson. Funny story, there's actually other Jay Robinsons that have considerably larger fan bases than I do. So I actually don't even have access to the analytics or monetary component to this release, because the other Jay Robinson has it locked to their name. And long story. But regardless, check it out. It's super meditative. If you're looking for something, maybe during relaxation or meditation, check it out. Bruce Trail Sessions, Music for 100 Trees, Jay Robinson. And get out into nature this summer. Enjoy your practices. And I'm going to leave you with a track from the Bruce Trail Sessions, Music for 100 Trees. This one is called Brink, and this was recorded July 25th, 2015 at Eugenia Falls in Eugenia, Ontario, which is a really amazing waterfall, beautiful spot. And I remember this morning, I got there really, really early, dragged all of my equipment out into the riverbed, like above the waterfall. It was dry enough you could kind of like find a spot. So I found a spot still enough and flat enough to sit on, and set up my equipment and recorded. I think I did 4 or 5 different improvisations. And it was cool because the video, when I watched back to the video later, these videos are also on YouTube, all of these videos. But when I watched the video, the one back, you could see people hiking behind me. So they must have been wondering what I was doing in the riverbed with my guitar at 6:30 a.m. So yeah, anyway, this one's called Brink. And this is from Eugenia Falls, Bruce Trail Sessions, Music for 100 Trees. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Echoes of Alchemy with Lotus Sound. Be sure to follow, rate, and share, and unlock your sonic cosmic archetype with our free planetary pulse quiz at lotussound.ca, and discover what planetary energy you are most in alignment with right now, as well as what musical mode you are most in tune with, lotussound.ca. And for our 3-day sound immersion training, deep dive into sound bath artistry, visit lotussound.ca/sound training. We've got FAQs up there, video, testimonials, and all kinds of details. We'd love to have you join us. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you soon.